I didn't think my husband was cheating on me. And if I'm being completely honest with myself, even when things started changing, I still held on to the belief that he wasn't cheating as long as I could. Not because I was blind or naive, but because I trusted him completely. My husband is not the type of man that moves around or gives reason to doubt him. He is calm, reserved, and very predictable. The kind of man that makes you feel secured even without trying hard. That was the kind of marriage we had, or at least that was what I believed. So when things started shifting, I didn't immediately see it as something serious. At first, it was just small changes that didn't seem like a big deal. He started spending time on his phone, not in an obvious way, just little things. He could pick up his phone more often than usual, scroll, type, and sometimes smile quietly to himself. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't something anyone could quickly notice, but because I live with him, I could see the difference. Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll bring to you another amazing real life story. Alright, so sit right back and watch this video till the end, and also do not forget to subscribe. Alright, let's go, guys. So when things started shifting, I didn't immediately see it as something serious. His phone was never something he paid that much attention to. He could leave it somewhere in the house without caring. Sometimes it could even ring and he wouldn't bother picking it up immediately. But now, it was like the phone had become a part of him. He was always aware of where it was, always quick to pick it up, always careful with how he handles it. Another thing I noticed was that he started turning his phone face down whenever he drops it on the table or on the bed. At first, I didn't think anything about it. People do something sometimes without meaning anything. But when it became obvious, when it became something he do every single time, I started to notice it more and more. I still didn't say anything. I didn't want to create problem where there was none. I didn't want to be the kind of woman that starts suspecting her husband over every little thing. So I ignored it and told myself it was nothing. Then the calls started. At first, it was just occasional. His phone would ring, he would check the screen and then step outside to answer it. I assumed it was work related. Maybe he needed quiet time to talk. Maybe it was something serious. That was what I told myself. But it didn't stop there. It became frequent, too frequent. Anytime his phone rang, he would not just answer it where he was. He would always stand up, walk out, and close the door behind him. It didn't matter what he was doing at the moment before the call came in. He would be eating, watching television, or even having a conversation. The moment that phone rang, his attention shifted completely. One evening, we were sitting together watching a movie. His phone rang and immediately he picked it up and looked at the screen. And I saw something change in his expression. It wasn't fear. It wasn't normal either. It was like alert, like something he suddenly become very careful of. He stood up quickly and went outside to answer the call. I remember sitting there, still looking at the television, but not really watching anything anymore. That moment stayed in my mind longer than I expected. Still, when he came back, I didn't ask questions. I simply acted like everything was normal. Days turned into weeks, and those things kept happening. Then something else changed. He started locking his phone. Before, his phone didn't have a password. Anyone could pick it up and use it. But now, suddenly, he had a password on his phone. And not just a simple one. Sometimes he made sure I couldn't easily guess it. That was when the first thought entered my mind clearly that something wasn't right. I didn't confront him immediately. Instead, I started observing more closely. The way he typed messages, the way he smiled at his phone, the way he could quickly lock it whenever I come close. Those were nothing he used to do before. There was a particular kind of smile I noticed, not the kind of smile he gives during normal conversation. This one felt like personal, more private, and somehow I knew it had nothing to do with me completely. Even then, I kept quiet. I kept telling myself that maybe I was overthinking things. Maybe it was nothing serious, but deep down, I knew something had changed. Everything became clearer one evening. He was in the bathroom and his phone was on the bed. It rang and I didn't plan to check it at first. I even ignored it for a few seconds. Then something inside me pushed me to look. I picked up the phone and of course it was locked. I couldn't open it, but the message notification appeared on the screen. And what I saw that moment changed everything for me. The message said, "Did you tell her about us?" I stood there holding the phone, reading that one sentence over and over again. It was short, but it carried so much meaning. My heart started beating so fast, and I could feel something drop inside me. I quickly placed the phone back exactly where it was and I sat down, trying to act like nothing had happened. But inside me, everything had changed already. When he came out of the bathroom, I looked at him differently, not with anger yet, but with a new awareness. I knew something now, even though I didn't know the full story. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept running with question. Who was she? How long had this been going on? What did us mean? I tried to calm myself down by thinking maybe I misunderstood the message. But the more I thought about it, the less sense it made. The next day, I decided I needed to be sure before making my conclusion. So instead of confronting him, I chose to observe more. That decision led me to something I never imagined I would do in my marriage. I followed my husband. That day, he left the house saying he was going to work. I waited a little while, then I left too and followed him at a distance. He didn't notice me. I made sure of that. He didn't go straight to the office. Instead, he stopped somewhere else. It was a quiet place, not somewhere people usually go for usual meeting. I stayed far enough not to be seen, but close enough to observe. Then I saw her. She walked towards him with a kind of confidence that shows familiarity. They were not strangers. That was obvious immediately. When she got to him, she hugged him, and that hug was not casual. It was comfortable, natural, like something they are used to. I stood there watching them, feeling like I was looking at the version of my life I didn't recognize. They talked, laughed, and interacted in a way that showed they had history. At that point, I felt hot, confused, and angry at the same time. But I still didn't confront them. I just left quietly. Even after seeing that, something still didn't fully add up. It didn't feel like a typical cheating situation. There was something else beneath it that I couldn't explain. So I followed him again another day. This time, I got closer, close enough to hear part of their conversation. And what I heard confused me even more. The woman said, "You need to tell her this is getting out of hand." That sentence stayed with me. "Tell me what?" My husband replied. "I will handle it. Just give me time." That was not the kind of conversation I expected from two people having an affair. That night, I couldn't keep it anymore. I confronted him directly. I asked him who she was. He didn't react with panic or denial. Instead, he looked at me quietly and said something I will never forget. He said, "If I tell you the truth, you won't believe me." That statement alone changed everything. It didn't sound like something trying to hide cheating. It sounded like something deeper. I told him to tell me anyway. After a moment of silence, he said something that completely caught me off guard. He said, "She is your sister." At first, I didn't even understand what he meant by that, but he insisted. I told him I didn't have a sister, but he insisted, then explained everything slowly. He said he met her by coincidence, and during their conversation, they discovered a connection. That was how everything started. Hearing that felt unreal. Growing up, I was always told I was an only child. There was never any mention of another sibling. But as he explained further, things began to make sense in a way I didn't expect. He said they had been trying to figure out how to tell me, which was why they kept meeting. That was why she kept on asking if he had told me. That was what the message meant. Later, I met her myself. She told me her own story, how she grew up, how she found out about my father, and how she had been trying to reach out. Listening to her, I started connecting things from my past that I never questioned before. Till today, I'm still processing everything because it is not just about my husband anymore. It is about realizing that there was a part of my life that has been hidden from me all my life. So I want to ask you this honestly. If you suddenly found out that you have a sibling your parents never told you about, would you be happy to finally meet them? Or would you feel more hurt that something so important was kept from you your whole life? What do you guys think about this story? This is a real life story. So kindly drop your thoughts about this story in the comment section. And also, do not forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so that whenever I drop amazing video like this one, you'll be the first to get notified. See you guys on the next real life story. Bye for now.